welcome to Consciously Healthy. I'm Laura.
I'm Claire.
And today we are talking about something rather fabulous.
I was going to say rather close to our heart, but it's actually not that near our heart.
More near the legs.
What we're going to talk about. The suspense is killing me.
We are talking today about vaginas. Hurrah.
Hurrah for vaginas.
And one of the reasons that we are discussing this is today I saw a blog on the HuffPost Women that said we need to talk about vaginas. And the title was, Are you embarrassed saying the word vagina? And so we're going to probably say the word vagina about 100 times today. So
just have a whole show to just saying the word vagina.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that. Actually, we have done that work with a very, very good friend of ours who felt incredibly disconnected from the waist down. Literally said that no legs, no bum, no vagina.
No vagina. Couldn't actually say the word vagina.
Couldn't even say it. And we did a really interesting piece of work with her where we encouraged her to stretch out of her comfort zone and to say, my name is, and I have a vagina, on repeat. And when she first started saying it, she was incredibly uncomfortable. It was like she just wanted to get away from
teeth, wasn't it?
And she kept saying it. She kept saying it. And then she started shouting it. And from that, she created a blog about vaginas.
Yeah.
So it's one extreme to the other.
Yeah, and she's now been like on the sofa of this morning
talking about
vaginas. I'm very proud.
So I think, let's start with the top tip. If you are struggling, you might not be watching this if you struggle with the word vagina. I'm just thinking about that one. But if it's a word that you feel quite uncomfortable with, say the sentence, my name is, and I have a vagina, on repeat.
I mean, I have to say, I don't think that the word vagina is particularly lovely.
Do you know?
It's very medical. We often use the word, the Sanskrit word for vagina is yoni, and it actually means mysterious cave.
I quite like
nicer.
that. I quite like that.
And I quite, because they also use the word lingam for penis, which means wand of light.
That comes into sacred mysterious cave.
It comes into sacred mysterious cave.
I love it. So let's talk about our caves. Or maybe not our caves.
Our personal caves.
My cave's fine, thank you very much. But let's talk a little bit around symptoms that vaginas can suffer with, how to get through them, how to be emotionally with vagina.
One of the things that, so kind of symptoms. So much to say. So symptoms, well, there's something called vestibulitis. And vestibulitis is where the entrance to the vagina gets very, very swollen and sore and can cause, very painful sex. Mm-hmm. We, of course, have good old-fashioned thrush.
Good old-fashioned thrush, which is an imbalance in the bacteria in the vagina.
We have bacterial vaginosis, which is
also
to do with bacterial overgrowth, but actually comes from a change of pH in the vagina. So that can be to do with diet. It can do with a lot of women often find they get back vag over winter. BV, we could call it BV. They get BV over winter as they've been wearing a lot of tights and leggings and man-made fibres, but it kind of goes away in the summer.
So thrush is more of a yeast. The BV, bacteria vaginosis, is more of it's
a change in pH.
It's got like a fish smell.
Yeah.
It's not a great experience.
No. I don't even want to start talking about the smells of symptoms from the vagina. What does thrush smell like? It's not my thing.
One of the big things that I know I struggled with in my 20s, and I think other women struggle with, is this feeling that it should smell and feel a certain way, and some women can get very obsessed with it being clean and constantly using shower gels and having a shower every day and making sure that you clean that area. And it was illuminating to me when I discovered that the vagina is actually self-cleaning. It does not need shower gel, and that shower gel actually does create a lot of symptoms such as BV and
Absolutely.
Thrush.
Yes.
So my first top tip would be to throw the shower gel away from your vagina. just using old-fashioned water.
Water, absolutely. Vaginas do not like soapy nastiness. They also don't like, I mean, honestly, what is that feminine deodorant? I mean, really, for goodness sake.
I find it upsetting.
Me too, feminine deodorant. I don't like things like that. I get a bit cross if I go into a hotel and they've got that scented loo roll.
Vaginas don't like scented loo roll.
They don't like perfume, they don't like chemicals, they just like to be washed with water and not overwashed, because again, actually that's one of the best ways to cause BV is to overwash your vagina. So being really careful with your vagina. I like to think of my vagina as like a slightly separate entity to me, and she has opinions and she has a personality. And there's things she doesn't like. And I tell you, if you kind of want to get a little bit more understanding about your vagina, one of the best things to read, I mean, it's come out a long time ago, but a book by Eve Ensler called The Vagina Monologues, and it became a play, and you've probably heard of it. But the book itself is utterly glorious and also painstakingly, just heartbreaking. And it's just a stack of women talking about their vagina, and if their vagina had a name, and if their vagina was something, and they just got everything down from like 10-year-old girls to women in the Bosnian rape camps, and it's absolutely phenomenal.
It's a great, great book. Another great book that I would really recommend is a book that is actually called Vagina.
Yes, oh yeah.
And one of the things that I was fascinated with, it looks at the nerve endings and the nerve pathways that run through female sexual organs, which resembles a bit like a very complicated tube map. There are hundreds of nerve pathways that run through the vagina, and then they also have a picture of the penis, which has got about 4 nerve pathways. And what they discovered is that there are all of these nerve pathways that run into the brain, that when a woman has gone through some kind of trauma, this, particularly in the vagina area, this is how we are affected psychologically. It's why rape is so incredibly horrendous for women, because it really does affect
neurologically. It affects us. It affects us mentally, and so there's so much evidence now, and it's a brilliant book because it actually explores vaginas and sort of any kind of vaginal trauma and vaginal joy as well. It goes into that, but it looks at it psychologically, it looks at it medically, it looks at it tantrically. It's just a fantastic book, really, really worth looking at. And so, it's something that we actually really encourage, particularly if I've got a client who has something like vestibulitis or other vaginal kind of symptoms or issues, is to have a conversation with her vagina. And that just literally means putting your hand just over your vagina and just allowing her opinions to come out. And I tell you, when I first did this, it was illuminating, and it was like, she was so grumpy with me for all those, those ridiculous boyfriends I had way back when. The one night stands way back when. She would be really grumpy with me about a variety of different things. And it really helped me to find my boundaries sexually, and also from a sanitary place. Like, it became really clear that my vagina did not like tampons.
No.
Actually, when you look at tampons, they are, bits of cotton wool that we're shoving up our vagina. They draw all, vaginas are supposed to be moist. They draw all the moisture out, including the blood, but just don't actually allow the vagina to breathe or regulate the flow of the menstrual cycle. And there are many other ways to support your sanitary requirements.
We do a show on this, don't we? So check that one
out.
So I would say that if you are suffering with reoccurring thrush, that you look at diet. So having too much sugar in the diet can really affect bacteria in the body. So a bit of a sugar fast can be really effective. And you can also look at herbs like caprylic acid or oregano. That can affect both good and bad bacteria, so maybe more the caprylic acid. Garlic's a great one. I wouldn't put anything... The only thing that I would consider putting on my vagina if thrush was occurring is something called Silver Shield, which is a product that we purchase through Nature Sunshine, which is on balancedwellness.eu, and that comes in a liquid and in a gel. And that's incredibly safe to use.
Yeah, you can use it internally and externally.
Absolutely.
And that's amazing. It's antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal, really rebalancing. It's just
really
it's silver. It's colloidal silver, basically.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
That's the.
So
I can
top
sense
tips.
another show coming out
about vaginas. So top tips: definitely no soap, and have a conversation with your vagina.
And I would also encourage throwing knickers away through the summer.
And wearing vagina dresses, long maxi dresses
with no knickers.
Let your vagina be free.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Well, I mean, if we're going to talk about knickers, if you have to wear knickers, then natural fibres are really important as well. Yes. So cotton knickers are great. Big pants, big Marks and Spencer cotton knickers I can recommend.
Not little lacy thongs. Vagina says no.
Yes.
Yes, so Nicholas in the summer with vagina dresses.
Yes. And that's our show on vaginas. Thank you for tuning in.
Subscribe here for more
vaginas.
We'll see you next time.